Good morning, and welcome. I'm excited to bring something that is kind of new in my frame of reference, in the construct of something that's old and marrying it with something that's new. So, what the heck is she talking about anyway? Um, there's the old saying that there's nothing new under the sun, and that is absolutely true. I think, especially in the construct of our businesses. There's all kinds of business models out there. There's business coaches, there's people who provide services, there's people who all kinds of business models, right? um, and we all have to have an audience to sell into. We have to attract our person to us through content. So the whole phrase of, content creator, we're all content creators. We're all out there hustling, creating content for social media, our blogs, creating videos, whatever it is. So that's not new, right? That is been around for a long time. In fact, when I started in the social media space, I was creating content like mad. Like, I was posting on social media 10 to 20 times a day, sometimes even, still on Twitter, I'm tweeting sometimes as much as 30 times a day. It's a crazy wheel. It's a hamster wheel. And when I started, like probably many of you, I didn't know the structure, the basics. I didn't know what I should have in place before I started building this community. I had no lead gen, so I wasn't collecting email addresses. I didn't really have anything to sell. I was just showing up and creating content, which is what a lot of people do, which is why I feel like there's such a great opportunity. If you are a business coach or a life coach, or you're providing services, you help people do Facebook ads, or, you build sales funnels, you're the same, like, right? You're the same as like 1,001 other people. It's hard to differentiate yourself in those crowded marketplaces. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you shift that dynamic to potentially something that is going to change the way you think about your business, and maybe even the model that you have. So I'm super excited. I want to give a shout out to Tanya. Good morning. Good morning from Louisiana. I'm glad you're here. Susie, love seeing you here. I'm glad you're here. Toronto. Is it hot up there? I'm just curious. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little backstory on this before I jump into what I feel like is a huge opportunity for each and every one of us potentially. Now, this won't be for everybody, but I want to talk about it and let you say, does this make sense or does this not make sense? So, I have, over the past few years, I've really struggled with my thing. I was like, okay, I feel like I'm just one of a sea of other people, probably exactly like you. When I started in social media, there were some of us that were leading the charge, right? And we were able to build massive communities. And then everyone else came into that space. And I'm not complaining, because I want people always to rush to the opportunity, which is why what I'm getting ready to share with you today is going to be amazing. Because I think anytime you get into an emerging market early, knock on wood, right? You stand to win big. And that was the way it was for me with social media. Is I got in early and I was able to build a massive community. I have about 1.5 million followers on all the socials. I feel very blessed in that opportunity, but it's very difficult now to stand out, and and my skill set was so wide. I was like, how am I going to show up and really help people? I just struggled. I was like, I don't know exactly. And I tried this thing and I tried the other thing, and built this program, created that course, all the things, and none of it really felt right. And so I was telling my business coach about this just about a month ago. We were in Cancun, and I'm like, I just feel kind of lost. Like, I just don't know how I show up anymore and really provide value. And because when you feel that way, just heads up. And if you do feel this way, it's very difficult to jump in with any passion, because you're like lost. You're like, how am I going to show up? I don't even know what I want to show up, how I want to show up, right? So if that's you, you may be in that same boat that I was in, and you're like, I just don't know how to show up today. So I was having this conversation with him, and we were talking about my content journey, and we were talking about buzz phrases. What's the latest like buzz phrase? And it's content creator, it's collaboration, it's community. So the three C's. I love three C's because there's so many like analogies you can make around those. But that was a huge conversation because we got to talking about, again, those buzz phrases. Where is the opportunity now? So, usually I can see these things myself because I've been in the online space for 30 years, and I can see the new thing, right? But for some reason I was stuck and I just couldn't see it. So we were having, like I said, having this conversation. And we were talking about all the things. I mean, I've got a blog that generates six figures in affiliate revenue. I get a lot of traffic to my blog. I've consistently blogged, but it's an elephant. It's hard to consistently stay on top of that. And how many blogs are there in the world today? Like there is like literally millions of blogs standing out today. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult. So the blog, the live show, I've spoke on stages, I wrote a book. Okay, well, how many other books in the social media space are there today, right? So it's just so many things and so many opportunities to build authority and monetize it. And so, but anyway, all the things that I've done over the years from an influencer, I've done a ton of influencer work. And we got to, again, what were the hooks, the things that I knew and could share with people? And he's like, why aren't you like sharing that? Why aren't you taking what you know in the content creator space and teaching other people about that? So let me give you a few stats. I want to give you the backstory on this because once he said that to me, it's like a light bulb went off. And anytime that I start something new, I always do research. I'm like, okay, so what's the research on this? Like, is there an opportunity here? So let me share what I found. And this is going to be stunning, I think, for you. And I would love to know if you self-identify as a content creator, or if you don't, are you creating content? Meaning, are you posting on social media? Are you blogging? Are you creating video content? Because if you are, guess what? You technically are a content creator, whether you self-identify as that or not. So when COVID happened, COVID has created I don't know if you call it a vacuum. I would say there is a vacuum component here, but the way it provided a gas. It was like a blowtorch on an opportunity, I think, because so many people were home. They started creating content and creating and consuming content. It wasn't just a creation thing. It was also a consumption thing. There was so much content being consumed, and there were so many people creating content as well because they had time and bandwidth. So there is an estimate of upwards to 50 million content creators today. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So I'll give you a couple of stats on this. A few weeks ago, we had my friend Jim Fuse on, and he was talking about Amazon and how you can create these shoppable videos and drive affiliate revenue on Amazon. And he was saying that there's roughly 5,000, just 5,000. Can you imagine how many people are shopping on Amazon? And there's roughly 5,000 content creators on Amazon. So there's opportunity in all spaces, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're creating content on a blog, wherever you're creating content, opportunity knocks through content. But 50 million content creators, right? Now, this is a fascinating shift. Only 2 million of them are making six figures. And I would like to, and you don't have to, this is a safe zone in the construct of there's no judgment here, but I want to ask, is your content creating you six figures? If it's not, You're not alone. There is literally 48 million people who are not making six figures in their business. So, meaning there is an opportunity here, a big one. And when you think about it, and I want you to think about this because content is king, right? Everybody says it. You got to have content, you got to have content. But the interesting thing that I find is even when I was creating content from early on, the content really didn't create sales for me. It gave me a community of people that were attracted to my content, but because I wasn't ready for it, I had no lead gen. So I wasn't moving people from social media to my list, which is where the money is. I didn't really have a whole lot to sell when I first started. And I definitely wasn't driving people to sales, to an opportunity to buy from me, because everybody said, you don't do that. Like, it's all about the relationships. And I do agree that social media is about the relationships. Absolutely. But you have to have business structure in order to support the relationships, or otherwise you don't make any money, y'all. And we are a business. We are here to make money. So the opportunity, as I see it, and I'm creating a new phrase here because there are so many content creators out there, and most of them are already failing. And the worst part is they're going to continue to fail and they're going to fizzle out. That's unacceptable to me. I don't like that concept. I want people to succeed. I want them to make money in their businesses. And when there is such a vacuum where nobody is serving this space, again, opportunity knocks. So let me tell you a couple of quick other stats. Right now, most brands, there's tons of brands like, and I think the number, what was, hang on, I got the number here. I was looking at it earlier. There it is. Sponsored influencers are worth $8 billion today. So let me explain what that means. That means a brand will see an influencer, and let me explain what an influencer is. An influencer is somebody who has a community of people. It can be 100 people. It can be 10 million people. And this is where the magic sauce is. Most people right now, if they're just getting started, or even if they're not, I mean, if I had to recreate my community today, starting from scratch, I would probably struggle because it's difficult. Those smaller accounts are where it's at right now. And brands are going to those smaller accounts, meaning they're trying to collaborate and work with those smaller influencers. So what a smaller influencer is, there's words like micro influencer, there's nano influencers, but they're basically someone who has less than 1,000 followers. Brands are gravitating in waves to these people to the tune of about $8 billion. But that is also a problem because they are not ready. They're just out there doing what they do. They are focused on their passion. They're creating content. They have no idea that they need a lead gen. They have no idea that they need an authority page. They have no idea that they should have something else to sell. Instead of the brand comes to them and the brand says, hey, I want you, hey, influencer, I want you to tell your community about these eyeglasses that this is what we sell. We're going to give you these eyeglasses in exchange for you telling your community about them. And the small influencer is going to be, really? I get a free pair of eyeglasses? Yes, I'm in. No, you do not sell your influence in exchange for a product. So but they don't know. They don't know any better. They don't know how to present themselves to a brand. They don't have a pitch deck. They don't know how to price themselves. They don't know how to price their influence. So there is I'm creating a whole new term called the authority creator consultant, because these people need help. These people need somebody to say to them, hey, you go do what you do. I'm going to help you create your pitch deck. I'm going to, whatever their problems are, right? because the reality is those people are not, that's not their zone of genius. Their zone of genius is not figuring out how to price themselves. Their zone of genius is not building an authority page for their business. That's why they're going to struggle. But would they pay somebody else to do that for them? Heck yeah, they would. Absolutely. So the components of monetizing as a content creator, somebody needs to start providing that service, because there's 48 million people out there today that don't have the things they need in their business to sell their influence. So if you agree with me and maybe you're in a business that you have struggled to monetize and you're like, man, this is such a great opportunity, I could do that. Maybe you could create a different business model for yourself. Maybe you are a content creator and you haven't been able to monetize your business. So instead of hiring someone else to do it for you, maybe you just learn how to do it for yourself, right? So, or maybe you're already a service provider and you're like, I deal with a lot of content creators. You're right, Kim. They don't have a clue how to monetize themselves. So I would love to know how to do that. We could add that as a service to our existing business. So you're a Facebook ads person, or you are a social media manager, but the people you deal with don't have business structure in their business. And you're like, if I could provide that as a service, wow, that could be great. So the way I look at this is there's maybe like 3 or 4 different scenarios where this might be for you. Again, if you're that content creator, you need to figure out how you're going to monetize. Okay, this might be for you. Really what I'm really focused on is the person who wants a business model serving this industry. Somebody who needs a business model that's just a business in a box. Like, here's all the systems, here's all the things that you can sell, and helping those people get to a $10,000 a month biz model, with this business model. But the content creator could also use this, obviously, and get to a $10,000 a month revenue stream. So I'm excited about this. I'm getting ready to roll it out. If you want to get on the wait list for it, you can get on the wait list by simply going over to, let me put this up on the screen for you, kimburst.com/authority creator. I saw in the, Jody was saying, Jody was saying she saw Chalene and Brock Johnson talking about this. Absolutely. A lot of people are beginning to talk about it, Jody. I think the difference between what I would like, how I want to show up in this space is, again, helping people build businesses to support the content creator. Now, that doesn't mean the content creator can't also take advantage of this opportunity, but I feel like there is a need. And the reason that, meaning from a service-based perspective, because most content creators, if they are already creating content, they're busy. 2, they don't really have the bandwidth to figure out how to do all this stuff themselves. If they did, they would have already done it. And so the need for people to learn how to support these 48 million adding every day content creators is so rich. So that's basically what the Authority Creator is going to be about. We're going to be about helping people build businesses to support the content creator. If you know a content creator out there that's got, 1,000 Instagram followers, for example, and you look at their profile and you go to their webpage and their webpage doesn't clearly tell you who they are, they don't have a lead gen, all the things, you can reach out and say, hey, I noticed your business didn't have XYZ, you really need this to monetize. Or, I noticed you had all these collab offers. So that happens. I'll give you a quick example of this. My oldest son's girlfriend posts pictures of herself quite frequently, like so many other people do, right? She's cute as a bug, and she posts these photos, and almost every one of her photos, she gets all these people, at least 3 or 4 per photo, where they're saying collab, let's collab, let's collab. So those are people reaching out that's probably got a product that want her her to say, hey, look at my, XYZ. So they're wanting to trade, they want to collab with her so that she'll share their product or service. But if she was to do that just without, what would probably happen, because this has happened to me when I first started, is that those collab opportunities, she'll start talking with those people. They'll say, yeah, we'll send you whatever it is. And you just give an honest review. So she gets the thing. Okay. So let's just assume the thing has $100 value, right? And she's got 1,000 Instagram fans. She shares it with her Instagram family, and she thinks that she got this free thing. She's happy as a lark. But what could she have made? 10 times that if she'd have just known the value. She could have charged at least $1,000, but she didn't know. And she didn't know how to price her influence, So this is a huge opportunity. It needs to be served. This is a space that absolutely needs there's a vacuum here. There's nobody really helping these creators learn how to monetize their platforms, their influence effectively. So that's my focus going forward. I've been doing this for years myself. So I'm super excited about finally finding something that feels right in a way that I can really show up and help people to build businesses that six-figure businesses. If you can build a six-figure business, that's our first goal. Then you can scale from there. So I think there's, like I say, such a big opportunity. Just get on the wait list. We are going to, anyone that's on the wait list first is going to get a sneak preview and some special pricing. I'm just also going to say that, and some additional goodies. So get on the wait list. This may be for you. It may not be, but the opportunity to really help people is, and if you care about that, if your business isn't thriving like you would like it to, or if you would, from a content creation perspective, or, a business model that actually is going to work for you, or whatever your situation is, everybody's going to have a different situation. But there's such a great opportunity here. So I'm excited about it for you. And for me, honestly, because like I say, I feel like I finally found, if what usually happens when you are an influencer, and I'll just step back from it from my perspective, kind of my story a little bit real quick. Again, when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea I needed XYZ, in my business to be able to really take advantage of social media. And since social media has evolved to where it is today, again, so many things need to be in place. And if you knew how to do that from the get-go versus I had 750,000 followers before I realized I needed a lead gen. Nobody told me this. I didn't know. And honestly, I'll share this too. Like, this is something that's been like I don't know if you call it pet peeve. It's a pet peeve, because when I realized I needed help, I went on a knowledge bench and I went down this whole digital marketing side, because in the social space, you need to build the bridge between the digital, because the digital marketing side is where the money is. And then the social is where you attract people to you and connect. But if you don't have that bridge, then you're not going to get to the money. And that's where I see the biggest disconnect for most people. It was where my disconnect was. And honestly, I have peers today. I have peers that have amazing communities of people that they have attracted to them around their knowledge and around their skills. And they can't monetize their platforms because they don't have basic things in place. So they're waiting for the next influencer gig. And even when that opportunity comes, they have no idea how to sell their influence. So they're selling it at a fraction of the value of it. So I'm just saying there's a great opportunity to really help people that have influence. Instead of giving it away, let's help them monetize it. And in return, you can have a thriving business as well. So also, I'm going to be talking about this ad nauseum probably in the next little bit. But if you are interested, like I say, go to kimgross.com/authority creator, jump on the wait list. You'll be seeing a lot of content coming through around this in the near future. But like I say, if you and if you have questions, like, hey, I just have a few questions, feel free to send them our way, and we will make sure that we get back to you. Okay. All right. Thanks for giving me your time and attention today, guys. I am so blessed to have each of you here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.